Hello, cosmic beings. Welcome to Being Cosmic. If this is your first time here, welcome, welcome. If you're returning, welcome back. I am so glad that each and every one of you are here. My name is Devon, and I'll be doing a collective message today. So, with that, take what resonates and leave what doesn't. Alrighty. So, let's get into this message and see what is in the highest good for you to know today. All right. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your support on the channel. The likes, shares, comments, subscribes, and of course the donations all do help out. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And if you are interested in a personal reading from me, you can find that information in the description box below. Alrighty, dokie. Let's get into this. You could be connecting with your ancestors right now. Yeah, maybe. Oh, this you could be a cycle breaker. Um, For some of you, you've been doing a lot of this work in solitary, um, and really kind of maybe looking at ancestral stuff, generational stuff, and kind of healing and transmuting a lot of that energy. It's the energy of like this stops with me. Um, Crossing the veil. This one came out the last time I used this deck for a collective message. We've got mourning, like grieving. For some of you, maybe you lost somebody in your family recently. If so, my condolences. Um, Sometimes those are kind of like catalytic events, um, that really, kind of trigger the whole what else is going on, what happens beyond this human physical experience. It kind of opens up to a lot of those existential questions. Um, but yeah, the other thing too is it's like through your own healing that you've been doing your inner work, it's breaking generational stuff. Generational cycles, generational curses, whatever you term it as, look at it as energetically it's the same thing. So you've in yeah, and I'm getting this energy of like you were the one to come in and do this for your bloodline. Um, and oftentimes what that also equates to is at the soul level, you've got a really old soul. You've done this before. It takes a certain type of soul to come in and be able to handle what the fuck this actually looks like and fully complete it. It's a hard path, but it's very rewarding. It's very, very, very rewarding. Um, okay. I'm being told to read this one. So let's see here. Um, okay, so it's also talking about connecting to something greater. Um, okay, so yeah, yeah, for some of you, you could be like honoring your ancestors as well, really working with your ancestors. For some of you, you've been working with your ancestors and not realizing it. Okay. And then this. Okay. All right. We're going to get a little more insight. So we're going to get a little more insight with the tarot. Um, for some of you, you could be actually activating some of your gifts and abilities to the point where maybe you're seeing or hearing your ancestors. That could be something else that's been going on. The other thing too with this card, with this mourning card, so it's mourning like grief, not like morning and evening. Um, so with this card, this is also talking about like understanding that certain cycles have come to a close. And when those cycles come to a close, even though you know at some level it's for your highest good that these cycles do close out, there's still kind of a grief process that happens because you're leaving certain things behind, even if this is leaving a certain identity behind. It's kind of grieving the version of you that you used to be, while simultaneously knowing that the version of you that is emerging is going to be, so different and so much, happier and more prosperous and more just content with life. You're not engaging in a lot of these subconscious things anymore and stuck in some of these, patterns and things like that. And so there's a process to it as well. So maybe you're grieving the version of you that you used to be. And there's a lot of solitary energy here. So you could have been in hermit mode for a while processing this and going through this. For some of you, you're getting ready to emerge into this new version of you that you've been working on becoming. Yeah, I just saw the Wheel of Fortune. So that's doing a 180 in life in some way. Or for some of you, it's a lot of different ways. Okay, what else is going on? What's going on? Ten of Wands, yeah. Yeah. Um, okay. Hmm. Okay, so the Ten of Wands is really burdened energy. I'm not laughing at the burdens. Just it's funny because we've got like the Ten of Wands, but then like really happy, prosperous parts. So this where this was kind of flipped out, or where I was guided to put it, is okay, so hold on. What's the message? Um, for some of you, it was things got really, really heavy and pushed you into kind of solitary to look at some of what you've been carrying around so that you can set it down. That's the thing with the Ten of Wands is like it's an end of a cycle. It's an end of like heavy burdens, carrying other people's shit, like all of that. Just carrying a lot more than your fair share. That's what the Ten of Wands is. This is carrying so much and it gets so heavy, and then you're guided to do something about it. And ultimately, what you did was you chose to do the brave thing, to be honest. You chose to face it and to look at it and to decide that I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to have these experiences anymore. I don't want to experience other people in the way that I've been experiencing them. I don't want to experience situations and, this is just life in general, finances, all of it. And you get to a point where you're like, wait a minute. Part of this can also be where you get the awareness spiritually where it's like you don't have to do it this way anymore. And then that will kind of trigger this energy. I'm getting like you've gone through a dark night of the soul, you've gone through an ego breakdown. And you're ready to set these burdens down and not carry them with you anymore. And some of it is generational stuff. Some of it's stuff that you were told that you needed to carry. And it's not direct like that. It's more subconscious things, and this is just the way it is, and this is just how our family is, and blah 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 blah, right? It's that kind of shit. And then that in turn relates to now you get to carry this shit. And then you kind of get to a certain point and you're like, actually, I don't want to do that anymore. Like, I don't want to carry all of this. It's heavy, it's uncomfortable, it's miserable. I don't want to do it. And so then we've got the Four of Wands that came out, which is like union energy. This is the marriage card. This is celebration. This is, um, it's long-term commitment. And for some of you, because I'm seeing solitary really standing out. So if you've been walking primarily, it's a really interesting thing. So you can be around a lot of people, but still be solitary in a way. And it's where you're not really it's hard, yeah, it's kinda hard to explain, but it's like you might be around a bunch of people, but you're not getting your needs met. You're not getting seen fully and supported and stuff like that. So even though you're around a bunch of people, it's not really this energy of celebration and joy and happiness and things like that. And so that could be part of what you're walking away from is doing things in a very solitary way, and now you're ready to have especially like a romantic partner that walks this path with you. And then King of Pentacles, this is like this is abundance. This is very financially secure and independent. And then okay, and then so we've got the Knight of Cups and then the World. And then the fucking Emperor. Okay. So the Knight of Cups is oftentimes like a romantic offer. Mm. For some of you, this burden energy that you've been carrying around is the desire to make a romantic offer in some way, but not allowing yourself to do it. And that could be something you're walking away from. Maybe you're getting ready to actually make this offer and, come into a completion and really, with the Emperor, like that's divine masculine energy. That's healed divine masculine energy. Um, sorry. Justice, King of Wands, Six of Wands, which that's like that one. Five of Pentacles. Okay, so we've got Justice, which is balancing out a situation. Very passionate. We've got two Kings and the Emperor. That's pretty significant. It's not a gender thing, it's an energy thing. So it's a lot of masculine energy. Okay, King of Wands, it's like creative, entrepreneurial. And then Six of Wands, this is like victory or being out in the open with something. And then the Five of Pentacles, this is lack mentality. This is feeling left out in the cold. So, okay, hold on. Give me just a second. Okay, so I paused it for a minute because some of these cards kind of threw me a little bit. And I was like, I don't know what direction we're going. Eh, so I feel like that's symbolic actually, because at first it was like, okay, ancestral healing, setting down your burdens, going into a phase of solitude, so on and so forth, and then walking away from things that are no longer serving that you put a lot of time, energy, and effort into, and all of that. Then there's like love and union energy that came out. And I was like, okay, so it kind of feels love reading-ish, but not fully. And then what I was looking at is kind of this progression. Oh, oh, oh. Random sneeze. Okay. Anyhow, so um there definitely could be communication energy that is wanting to flow. I'll just put it that way. A little side message. Okay, so with the progression of the cards, the way I laid them down, what's coming through is there was something here where you felt left out in the cold. For some of you, it's because you didn't claim something loudly. This could be a person, this could be just, I mean, it could be anything. It's just you there was something here where it was like, yeah, I'm getting for some of you that this is a person, like maybe it was like a situationship, or it was something that you like you wanted, but at the same time you wanted to keep it hush hush. So you didn't really claim it loudly. So again, that could be a relationship, but this could just be anything. This could be your belief system. This could be the way you view things, the work related stuff. It could be anything. And then what it led to, so the King of Wands, the thing with the King of Wands, it's entrepreneurial, it's creative, it's passionate, it's spiritual. The thing with the King of Wands can be a little flighty. And the reason is because it's the energy of like, oh, now, now I'm passionate about this thing, so I'm over here doing this. And now I'm passionate about this thing, and now I'm over here doing that. No judgment. You know how many businesses I've started? A lot. So no judgment at all. It's just that is kind of the flip side of the King of Wands. You know, it's not a gender thing. It's just depicted as a man, so he can be flighty. And change his mind a lot. And now there's like an evolution. And now there was something here where it was like you were called to balance something out. Um and that led to maybe seeing a lot of these burdens that you were carrying that weren't really yours to carry in the first place. And then what that did was it pushed you onto this path really of becoming your best version. And with that, we've got divine masculine energy here. So you could resonate with being a masculine. Um, and now it's like there's a completion here. And I just got deja vu. So there's a completion here. You could be experiencing deja vu a lot right now. Um, And because of this, it's like because you've done a lot of this inner work and healed and simply chose to want to be your best version of self, and then following that through, it's kind of the big part. Now there's a completion and there's an ending, a big one. And I feel like it's an ending of the way you used to do life. Like this is an identity ending. And with that, what it allows is for this new identity to emerge. And it's going to be a more in alignment, authentic version of yourself that is emerging or has recently emerged. And now you're ready to give somebody your cup of love. So if you know who that person is, take that as confirmation. You're ready to make this offer. You're ready to bring your cup of love to somebody. If you don't know who this is, I feel like this is something that you are now desiring. Is this Four of Wands energy with somebody who you genuinely do love, and then it's reciprocal, it's mutual. So, somebody that you're in love with that's in love with you as well. And then what that leads to, or another thing that you're focused on, is financial stability. Okay. In the way I've got the cards laid out, what this is actually looking like is it's one of these things like this natural progression of you put an ending to a lot of things. You're ready to set your burdens down and put a completion to that version of yourself that carried things that weren't really yours to carry. Healing and releasing and all of those things. And then now it's time to allow yourself to bring somebody your love. Um, for most of you, I do feel like this is going to be like a person. The other thing that this could be is really starting to tap into your heart space and do other things, hobbies. Maybe shifting into where it's like your career, it's your full-time thing, and you're doing something you're really passionate about and you love to do. And what that is going to do when you allow yourself to embrace this energy, this is a moving energy. It's so knights in the tarot are movement, forward movement. And so this is bringing your cup of love to something and you're moving towards what it is that you desire. And what that is going to lead towards is a union energy with somebody who is a match for you, who is like that perfect match, who loves you as well, who's done their own healing, so on and so forth. And then you're walking the path together. It's also a celebration energy. So if you're not focused on a romantic union, this is just letting you know that you following your heart is going to lead to a lot of things to celebrate. And it's also leading to financial stability. Okay. No, that makes sense. I was like, we just went in a love direction, Two of Wands, but it's requiring you to make this choice and make a grounded offer. Um, for some of you, it's starting something new that's going to lead to financial stability. Um, because the Page of Pentacles, he's like setting off on this path, very prepared. But there's a beginner energy with it. And where it landed was right between, well, it's right after the Two of Wands, which is indicating that there's a need to make this choice to align with this. And it's really the choice to follow your heart. And that is what is going to lead to this. What it might do is put you in a little bit of a beginner energy at first when it comes to like your finances, your career, something like that. This could be starting a business. This could be changing careers. It's yeah, it's going to depend. It's going to be different for each of you, but it requires making that decision. And when you allow yourself to make that decision, there's this union energy, and this could be even an internal union of those masculine and feminine energies within the self as well. And for a lot of you, I do feel like there's an external union that you're desiring with another person that is, it's kind of like an idealistic, like fairy tale kind of energy, but like a modern day fairy tale kind of energy. And then that it's like this new fresh path opens up for you that is going to lead into financial stability, which is the King of Pentacles. Now, the thing is, for some of you, it's going to be because, like, the way these cards are like laid out is it's like, okay, so you follow your heart space, you choose to walk the path that your heart is calling you towards. That's going to lead to some sort of union, and that's going to open you up. It's like this awareness that comes over you of, oh, this is actually what's in alignment for me when it comes to your finances and your career. That's really a big thing that's coming up here. And then that leads into this King of Pentacles. And for some of you, this is going to be a really fast progression. Like you follow your heart. Maybe you go towards somebody that you desire a romantic union with. They're on board, and then an awareness happens, and then you start something new, and then really quickly it leads to financial abundance. Okay. What? I have a sword. Okay. Uh, that can be self-sabotage. So be mindful of not sabotaging this. Um, in the sun. Okay. Yeah, the Five of Swords, this is also like gossipy energy, judgmental energy, and it's also self-sabotage. So there's kind of maybe you're worried about what other people are going to say when you choose to follow your heart towards whatever this is. Um, so yeah, you could be worried about what people are going to say about it. Um, if people are going to judge it or whatever. Ultimately, remember, if you're going towards a specific person, all that really matters is like if you and your person are on board with each other. It's a relationship between you and another person. What other people around you have to say about it doesn't really matter. Of course, it makes it easier if people aren't, in this energy of gossiping and judging and all of that. But ultimately, it's like if it's what makes you happy with the sun here, if it's what makes you happy and brings you joy and passion and uplifts you, it doesn't matter what anybody else says about it. And ultimately, once you're like kind of locked in with this person, a lot of people will come around. And if they don't, they don't. It is what it is. There's that you and your person can come together and figure out how to navigate that. So just, keep that in mind. But with the sun out here, this is very joyful, positive, happy, uplifted. So it's like following your heart path is going to lead to the life that you want to live. And there's going to be people that have a lot to say about it. And, it kind of is what the Empress, huh? With the Empress, that's divine feminine energy. Um, Divine feminine energy is the energy of like everything the Empress touches grows. Very fertile energy. And so maybe for some of you, this is literally like having children. For others of you, it's the Emperor and the Empress coming together build empires. That's just the way it goes. So, and again, it's counterpart energy, and then it's also perfect match energy. The Emperor and the Empress are perfectly matched for each other. The Empress can handle the Emperor, and the Emperor can handle the Empress in its entirety. So, this is about alignment. This is about aligning with somebody who's completely on your level. Um, and it's also about the Emperor and the Empress coming together. It's very there's also the energy of like life partner where maybe you're working together, you're building businesses together, you're working on creative pursuits together, obviously having children together. um yeah, okay. So something that just came through is like the Emperor helps provide the structure, and then the Empress makes everything inside that structure grow. Hopefully that makes sense. But it's balanced. It's perfectly balanced. And this is healed energy. So this is two wholes coming together to create a bigger whole. And from there you can overflow and just build together. I mean, abundance, like King of Pentacles. That's an abundant energy. And then the Emperor and the Empress. So the Emperor is all the kings in the deck combined. The Empress is all the queens in the deck combined. Is kind of an energy. So like the Emperor can shift into these different energies depending on what is required of the situation. The Empress can do the same. And so it's about being able to go run a business and then come home and be there with your children and then go and create something very, very passionate and then also be very stable and grounded and financially secure. Um, and being able to navigate and flow between those different energies when it is called for. And then the 10 of cups. That's why I was giggling. This is the happily ever after card. This is literally completely emotionally fulfilled um with another person, and then there are children depicted on this deck. So it's that like idealistic perfect family kind of energy. And it's not saying you and your person are perfect. It's just you and your person are perfect for each other. And so it's you two coming together and then building a life together that you both desire to live, and then being able to overflow into, children, or it doesn't have to be actual children. It's just whatever you create together, because the Emperor and the Empress create things together. Um, I mean, like, these are fantastic cards. Like, this is really good energy. But I'm feeling the hesitation here with the Two of Wands. It's like still not knowing if you're gonna follow your heart or not. And we've got the Queen of Pentacles, so it's another counterpart energy. It's also saying that what you are calling in, whether you're consciously focused on it or not right now, you are calling in a romantic relationship with somebody. That's just it's all over these cards. And so, and maybe for some of you, that was kind of that switch up where you started doing some of this internal work and wanting to release these burdens. And it could have been for a different reason. And then all of a sudden, it was like love and desiring this healthy romantic connection with another person came into your awareness. And now that is like, I just heard priority number one. So, and that might be part of where there's like a hesitancy. Maybe that's new for you. Maybe that's not something you prioritized. If it, is one of those like if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, that's okay. And then all of a sudden you started doing this inner work and then came into this realization of like, holy shit, this is something I want more than anything. And it probably threw you. Um, if that's resonating. It probably kind of I just heard fucked you up for a little bit. Um which, yeah, when all of a sudden your priorities are realigned because you're more in alignment, it can throw you like, wait a minute, I was okay not doing that, and now this is the one thing that I want above anything else. It's gonna throw you. The thing is remember when that stuff comes into your awareness, it's for a reason. It's not just to like make you miserable and cause you more pain and add to the burdens. It's because you are literally aligning with it. Now it's time to allow yourself to choose it. Yep. Two of Swords. So where this came out was right between this completion energy and then the Knight of Cups. And so you could be the Two of Swords can also be denial. So maybe for a while you were in denial of wanting this romantic union energy. And now I feel like you're aware that you want this. Now it's, are you going to allow yourself to actually go for it? Um, are you going to actually allow yourself to make this decision and follow your heart? And trust that your heart is leading you in the direction that you want to go. Your heart's going to pull you towards things that are in alignment, that your higher self wants to experience, that you at the soul level chose to experience before you came into this life as well. Um, okay. Hmm. Hmm. All right. So Seven of Cups is having a lot of options. Okay. For some of you, there's the Tower. For some of you, because where this landed was on the Emperor in the world. So what, um, for some of you, you could be worried that if this is very specific. So if there is a specific person that you want to go towards, that your heart is calling you towards, you could be worried that this person has a lot of options and that they aren't going to pick you. So that could be part of what's keeping you at this crossroads and this hesitation energy is just not thinking that this person would pick you. Um, and so that could be what's kind of stalling this decision to go towards this person is because there's a part of you that's like, I don't know if they want this. And if they don't, and I go towards them, it's going to be devastating. Um, and the Three of Wands. For some of you, there could be a physical distance between you and the person that you're desiring. You could also feel just like you're kind of waiting. You're taking your time, you're kind of waiting. I'm really getting a distance though for a lot of you. Maybe that's something else you're worried about there because it landed on the burdened energy. So maybe there's a part of you that's like, how would we close this distance? So maybe you live in different locations. And it's enough of a distance to make it tricky to have like a long-term committed energy, especially if this is somebody like you want to move in together and you want to have like the traditional like you live together and then maybe you get married and then you have kids and all of that. It's going to be difficult to do if you live, hundreds of miles away from each other or even further. Shit, even an hour away, like driving distance can make it tricky. Um So, yeah, that could be something you're worried about. But we've got the tower here, and the tower feels okay. So, for you probably experienced a lot of tower moments that led you into this energy that you're in right now. So, this is a lot of like where nothing you do fucking works out the way that you think it's gonna work out. And okay, for some of you, yeah, okay, when you come into Earth and you choose to sign up for a calling, basically. So you choose to have some sort of soul purpose and you decide that you want to live your highest timeline no matter what. There's going to be an internal unrest. And then what you'll notice over life is when you take the steps that other people take, they will be successful and you will follow the exact same steps and run into fucking roadblock after roadblock and it doesn't go the way it's supposed to. And it's frustrating, but it's for a reason. And the thing is these tower moments are going to fall because it's a shaky, faulty foundation. It's not what your soul actually wants to experience. So, and sometimes what will happen is you'll get to a certain point, maybe you'll do things for 10, 20 years and you'll build this foundation. You're like, okay, this is decent enough. And then all of a sudden that calling will activate, that soul purpose will activate. And then every fucking thing you worked on and set in place in this foundation that you're like, okay, this is comfortable enough, this is decent enough. Okay, all of a sudden it starts to fucking crumble. And from the human perspective, it's very frustrating because it's like, what the fuck, dude? Like, why? Why me? It can kind of turn into that energy. Like, why me? Why, when I do this, I get my ass handed to me, but other people can do it and they don't get their ass handed to you? Well, it's because you're carrying a different frequency and you're here for something different. And so, a lot of times, some of us on this path, like if we do something that fucks with karma, we're going to get karma instantaneously. We're going to get a divine frying pan to the fucking back of the head because we're meant to do something different. We're meant to break these patterns. We're meant to break these cycles. That's what we chose to do when we came into this experience. So our relationship with karma looks different. It looks more instantaneous than other people. Certain things that society sets out and is like, if you follow all of these steps, you'll get to this place, and then we'll do it, and it goes fucking sideways. And the reason is because again, you're being called to a different path. You're being called to walk a different way. And so for some of you, what could have happened is you built this beautiful foundation that you were happy enough with, that you were comfortable in, but there was still a sense of lack. There was still a sense of settling. There was still a sense of not fully being content and happy with it, but it was doable. It was good enough. And then all of a sudden, tower, tower, tower. What towers are they are foundational shifts, foundational changes. Um, it's big life changes. And so when we are ignoring divine guidance, we end up experiencing negative towers from the human perspective. There will be signs, there will be synchronicities, there will be things that are letting you know it's time to move, it's time to end this relationship, it's time to shift careers, it's time to do these things. And then you ignore it, you ignore it, you ignore it. And then all of a sudden you get let go. You are in a situation where you have to move. That relationship goes fucking sideways and just blows up into epic proportions. And it's because you're ignoring the guidance. Now I feel like you're at the point where you're starting to really see the guidance and listen to the guidance before that. And when we listen to the guidance before that, the towers don't hit in the same way because we're working with the divine to build this foundation that is more stable, more solid, more secure, and more in alignment with what we actually chose to do at the soul level. So there's something here with your entire foundation completely shifting. And that's where that whole like your identity has probably completely shifted. Who you resonated as being a couple years ago is probably different than who you resonate with being now. Whether you're completely open about it to everybody else or not yet, doesn't matter. The way you do things now is probably very different than the way you did things 2 years ago, 6 months ago, 5 years ago, etc. And it's because you're in this rebuilding energy and you're rebuilding with the divine. Now, the thing is to rebuild with the divine. If you are an emperor and you can align with an empress, what you are capable of building is going to be more than what you can consciously even comprehend right now. And so that's part of this. You are being pushed towards this person right now. And for some of you, I feel like you know who this is. For some of you, I feel like you don't quite know who this is, but you're getting energetic. They're in your energy. Like you might be dreaming about somebody that you've never met, or you're feeling a different energy that you've never felt before, but it's like desirable. You're being pulled towards this energy. And so it's one of these things like you are being called to align with an empress because of what you two can come together and build and the experiences that you can have. And so for a lot of you, I feel like you're really being pushed to align with this empress and with this energy of union with somebody who is your match. And you are going, damn, don't shoot the messenger. You're going to continue to experience unpleasant feeling tower moments until you allow yourself to actually follow this guidance. Oh, yeah, yeah. So that's probably what you didn't want to hear, but you know, it is what it is. If you have a heads up about it, though, you can, do something about it. Hey, um, hmm, okay. Posted because the message was attempting to come through, but I wasn't fully getting it, and so I kind of paused to sit with the message. So this is okay. The message that came through is this. For some of you, what is keeping you in this indecision energy and keeping you at this crossroads and not following your heart space is because ultimately what I got was like the emperor is attempting to build a foundation by themselves to then reach out to the empress to bring the empress in and already have that foundation completely built, so then the empress can just come in and be, um and the thing is, and I'm giggling because I've done this too, where from the human perspective, we think that it should go this way because it's what makes sense to our logical mind. But then the divine gets involved and is like, no, do it this way. And it seems opposite. It doesn't make sense why we're being guided to do it in this way because to our human mind, that's out of order. It doesn't make sense why we would be called to do it that way. Now, the thing is what's happening here is there's an emperor being called for the empress now before they fully continue to build with the divine, because there's things here that aren't going to be illuminated to you until you are aligning with this empress. And then it's going to make a lot more sense. But there's things here with these foundational stones that you're being asked to lay, that you're being asked to align with your person first to build this with your person. And the thing is what you're not understanding as well is that by yourself, you can build something pretty substantial from an emperor energy. Yes, that is 100% true. The thing is what might take you 5 or 10 years when you align with your empress because of the energy dynamic that happens, what might take you 5 or 10 years to build you can get it done in under a year because of the energy of you and your empress together. So it's this energy of like you two coming together and building together, even if it's not you two actually working together. It's just the balance in the energy that will happen that allows you to build whatever you're wanting to build in life so much quicker, so much stronger, and so much more in alignment as a result of um co-creating basically with your empress. So even if this is a situation where you want to build this business and your person doesn't, the energy that is going to be a result of you two coming together it's going to allow you, it's like it will help you to rejuvenate really, really fast. It will help you to be able to carry way more because of the energy that your Empress helps you to embody. And it, again, it's very balanced. So this is not an out of balance thing. It's just understanding what happens when you're working with this type of energy. So when an emperor and an empress come together and really build together, even if it's one of you actually going and doing the thing, the energy, you're in a shared energy dynamic, and that is so expansive. So then all of a sudden, an empress energy is really, really powerful. And so is an emperor. Don't get it twisted. It's very much a match. But the thing is with an empress, if you have an empress, again, the empress grows everything. So what you can do on your own is way different than what you can do when you've got an empress that is helping you to grow. So like, it's like, if this sounds really funny, but it's like the emperor can go out and build things and then come back. And yes, there's that energy of like the emperor containing the empress and all of this. But the thing is like the empress touching the emperor can, I was nodding, um, can help the emperor grow in a way more exponential way than just by yourself. And this could be something that is a struggle for you right now, because I feel I could be talking to a fellow lone wolf. When you're used to doing things on your own and only relying on yourself, it is really challenging to be like, okay, I'm going to go towards somebody who's actually going to build with me. And and that could be something that you're kind of working through as well, is releasing that sense of complete hyper independence and allowing yourself to get to a point where you are able to be interdependent with another whole person who's in their divine energy as well. And so it's really, really powerful. And it's something that's not going to be completely, you're not going to have the clarity and fully understand it and grasp it entirely until you allow yourself to just follow your heart and go towards this person. And then you're going to be able to see what's possible for you at that point. And it's going to be so much bigger than what you feel like you're capable of right now. And it's just an energy dynamic. It's the emperor pushing the empress into their full empress energy, and then the empress pushing the emperor into their full emperor energy. And it's this natural dynamic that happens where both of you are calling each other up into your highest version of self. And that is something that's ever evolving, ever changing, because we're ever expanding. And so it's one of these things, like the level of expansion that you can reach with an empress is way different than what you can reach completely on your own. And and same thing for the empress. The level of, the levels that the empress can get to are very different on their own versus with an emperor. And there's a reason for it. And it's a divine reason. Okay, we've got the hanging bones on the bottom of the deck, which is seeing the signs. So you are getting signs and synchronicities about this next move for you. You're just kind of stuck at this crossroads, and you could still be carrying a lot of these burdens, and you're being asked to set them down now and allow yourself to go do this. Okay, we've got the high priestess. Okay. So the high priestess is talking about just being very intuitive, very, very in tune. But then it says leadership. So this could be something that you're stepping into, is in a leadership role when it comes to your spirituality. Um, yeah. And this could be, okay, because of where I was guided to lay this down, this could be something that you're not going to fully see and understand until you allow yourself to follow your heart. Because it's between the Knight of Cups, which is following your heart space, and then the Sun, which is joy, positivity, happiness, all the joy and wondrous things. And that might be part of it too. There could be something here with your soul purpose that's not going to be illuminated to you until you connect with this person, and then something is illuminated to you, and that is the foundational piece that you're missing right now. And so that could be part of this as well, is it's like you're being guided to go towards this person right now because this person's going to give you a missing piece. And it's not saying that, again, remember, this is very balanced. And so there's going to be an even give and take. So when I'm saying things like this, it's not like you're going to go towards this person and take from them. That's not what's happening. This is you going towards this person, and then things are illuminated, things become clear. Maybe your Empress gets some downloads for you that make things, make sense in a way that haven't made sense up until this point. Or it illuminates something that helps you with this foundational stone that is going to be really, really solid. And yeah, you can build your own foundation on your own, absolutely. But the thing is you with this person can build a foundation that's so much more expansive. Okay, so this is being divinely guided. Um, there are beings, guides, ancestors, whatever you perceive, however you work with it, there are divine forces that are pushing you and this person together right now. Um, And it's because at some conscious level, both of you want this, first and foremost. And then there's another thing here where it's like, from that bird's eye view and from that divine perspective, what you two can accomplish together is so much more fulfilling and stable than what you two can do alone. And then we've got the seasons. So this is cycles. These are cycles coming to a completion and new cycles starting. So this is, there is this sense, this energy of needing to trust yourself and how far you've come, and the fact that you have closed out certain cycles. You are ready for this. You have what it takes energetically. So even if physically on the outside it doesn't look like it right now, internally you are ready for what you're being called into. You just might not feel like it, but that's part of expansion. Is you're not going to fully feel ready, but you are energetically, because if you weren't, you wouldn't be called towards it. You wouldn't be pushed towards this right now. You wouldn't be receiving tower moment after tower moment until you allow yourself to follow your heart space. So keep that in mind. This is an energy. It's inside out process. It's as within, so without. And the within part happens first, and then the without part, or the outside part, sounds funny, but the external will reflect those internal changes at some point. It's inevitable. And so this is what this is about. This is about you seeing how far you've come and seeing it start to manifest in your physical reality, seeing how much of those internal changes you have made, and then having it reflected back to you in the external. So yeah, this could be a counterpart because there's this mirrored energy that's coming through. And then um with the witching herbs and nourishment, this is really talking about focusing on physical health and nourishing your body. It's also talking about nourishing your energy field. So spiritual hygiene, things like that, mental health stuff, really being aware of that and taking care of your mental health, your emotional health, your spiritual health, and then your physical health. And really finding balance within that and doing things that are really beneficial for you, that are in alignment, that are for your highest good. Oh, for some of you, okay, this is very interesting. Never gotten this message before. For some of you, this actually is part of why you're being called towards this person right now as well. So there could be a healing that happens when you align with this person. For some of you, this feminine that you are aligned with already is a healer and can actually help you to heal certain things, like energetically and stuff. Yep, yep. So that could be part of what's going on too, is there could be stuff that you're struggling with fully, like healing or releasing, and then as a result of being in this person's energy, it naturally shifts some of these things out of your energy that you are struggling to release. So that could be another hidden factor here, is a healing aspect. And again, it's not saying that you're going to go take all your unhealed shit and dump it on this person. That's not what this is. This is you aligning with somebody who's a powerful healer, who can assist you in some of these things. Um, yeah. Yep, yep, yep. Maybe they know about like natural remedies and things like that that can help you. Stuff like that, there's a balance here. So it's complementary energy. Um, yeah, it's very, very complementary. And that's the other thing too, is it's like the thing is like this person has a missing piece for you, but you also have a missing piece that you're going to be giving to your empress. And so remember that this is balanced. So if your person's giving something to you, you're energetically giving something back to your person. It might look different. It might be you give this and your person gives you that, but it's balanced. It's very, very balanced. I mean, that's a fucking factor too, actually. I just heard something about sensual healing. I don't think I can say the other word, but um that could be a factor as well. Is like a sensual healing that happens for both of you. Um so little side note. Um that's the message. Okie dokie. Well, that's the message. I was not expecting it to go in this love direction, but it makes sense. I mean, it really does. And I feel like that is very, very symbolic. Is like maybe you were not expecting it to go in this direction. Maybe that's part of the reason you're stuck at this crossroads is you're like, "What the fuck, dude? I was good over here." And then it's the other thing too of like the Empress is going to call out the vulnerable soft side of the Emperor. And that's, and that can be very unsettling if you're not used to that. And especially if you've had experiences with other people where it wasn't safe to do so, and then you're being called to actually open up like that to this person. There's a part of you that knows it is safe, but then there's a part of you that's like, oh fuck. Like that's really scary. Um, and so that could be part, another kind of aspect of being at this crossroads here is knowing that it's not even that you would have to open up like this. I mean, yeah, yeah, like you're not gonna be able to go to an empress and stay closed off. It just is what it is. Like you will be bounced out of their energy. It's just yeah. Like you would probably be stopped before you even were able to fully approach this person. Um, because that's just how, that's divine protection. But the thing is it's like you have the green light. You have access to this person. So you've been cleared by the divine to go towards this person. So that means you are ready for this. And this person's ready for you. This person's ready to receive you and you're ready to go get your person. Um so yeah. Yeah. Okay, dokie. Well, with that, I'm gonna go ahead and leave this here. I hope this helps. I hope this resonates. You got this. Ultimately, give yourself a pat on the back. You've done a whole hell of a lot of internal work to get to this point, and now you're ready for your entire life to reflect back to you these internal changes that you've been doing and really stand in the sun energy and be in that joyful positive uplifted energy most of the time and and have this 10 of cups, this happily ever after, this emotional fulfillment, and you're ready for this. And there's also grounded stable energy that is on the other side of this for you as well. So just know that like this is where if you're still on a shaky foundation, because it's going to be shaky when the divine comes through and fucking fucks up your entire foundation, but it's because it was faulty. And so you might be kind of standing on the rubbles of your old life, so to speak, and be like, I want to be able to go, have a full castle and be able to bring my empress in and they don't have to do anything. And it's like, well, yeah, that's cool and all, but that's not the path you chose to walk. And that's not the path your empress chose to walk. If your empress is calling you in and you're standing on the rubble of your old life, there's a reason for it. It's because your empress is in the energy of wanting to build with you. And so don't worry so much about what you have to offer physically or not, because energetically what you have to offer your empress and what your empress has to offer you is like this perfect recipe for building a beautiful massive foundation that is going to be generationally like abundant. I'm really getting that energy. We didn't see the Ten of Pentacles, but I'm getting that energy. We got the King and Queen of Pentacles, so that's what they build, you know? It was like generational wealth. So it's ultimately it's here. Um and so this, and I just heard like comeback era. So that could be part of this too, is like, for some of you, you went into a physical separation with this specific person. This can be very specific. You went to a physical separation with this specific person, and now because of the paths you walked in, the choices you chose to make at the human level, you both are ready to come together now and have each other part of your like comeback era where you come back together and then you're ready and then you just build and grow and expand and it's stable and it's solid and it's secure because you're building in alignment with the divine. So keep that in mind as well. There's reasons you're being asked to walk the way you're being asked to walk. Half the time it doesn't make sense until you walk it and then you look back and then you're like, oh, that's why I was guided to do things completely fucking out of order. Um, so just remember that as well. If there's parts of it where you're like, well, I would want this to be done first, sometimes there's reasons it's not guided. It's not the guidance for you to do it that way. And again, remember, now you're walking the divine path, and this is where we take out of order steps, but it's in alignment with the divine, and it's actually like shortcuts. And it doesn't feel like that at first, and sometimes it feels really stale and stagnant for a long time, but then all of a sudden it's just like boom. And then it, just people on the outside are like, what the fuck? Like, how did you do that? And you're like, I fell off for a while and did some internal shit, and now we're here. It's I walked a little bit of a different way. Um, so ultimately, remember, you chose to walk this path. Your soul is calling you to do this in this way for a reason. It's a divine reason. It's all going to make sense. It's all happening for you. And this person, you and this person are in alignment. It is what it is. And you both are desiring each other. So remember that as well. Alrighty. Well, for sure. For real. I'm going to leave this here. All right. Feel free to hit that like button. It does help out the channel. So thank you. And if you would like to see more from me, you can hit subscribe. It is free. I will see you on the next message. Bye.